All right, Omaha, Nebraska, my man Tim Clark is in the building, moving people to action. Boss with them.
Thank you, my man King. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man, for what you do to keep stimulating the conversation that's needed. Um, that's needed. But before I want to start off by just kind of I'm good, King. Kind of recapping really the last 3 weeks. When you think about it's January 17th, and man, time is not waiting for no one. And so I know this month people try to hit the reboot, reset, New Year's resolutions, and do the kind of things that kind of help. I'm a firm believer in terms of is how you start and how you finish. Everything in the middle, in between, is the work. Um, is the work, and sometimes in midstream you do got to make adjustments and recalibrate all the kind of things in terms of, but it's important that we get off to a good start, and really one of the number one things that I'm focusing on is self-care as number one, because I believe if we spend time inward versus outward, um, it'll make a better person all the way around. And so, how do we take the time to put our masks on first, breathe deeper and often? Now we got to breathe, right? But what I'm talking about is um, taking the time to really do what I call deep belly breathing, taking that deep breath in. I want you to do that more often, and that's just taking through your nose, taking a deep breath in, and then releasing through your mouth. I tell you, every morning you wake up, at least 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. Take the time to do some breathing exercises to strengthen your lung capacity, your ability to breathe deeper and support not only in terms of just your body, your posture, but really in terms of just the different organs and mechanisms inside you internally. It really need us to breathe deeper. It has ability to help heal and so many other benefits. But let's breathe deeper and more often. And I do believe that will make for a healthier person if you choose to do that. Um, I want to I want to. I mean, then if you could, some things that think about some things that have been that's working for you. I would love for us to share. This is, moving people to action is about really listening, learning, and really causing people to move to action. And so I think the strength of what we do is really in our ability to engage and get people involved in providing solutions. And so if you had some success in terms of 23 things that work for you, you are able to witness and experience positive results, share those with us, because that's how we learn. I think the greatest classroom is the classroom of people sharing their successes and challenges too, because through challenges and through sometimes falling down, we do get back up and we get stronger and better. And so, please share with us maybe one or two successes that you had in 23 that you would like to continue to even work at making it better or getting better, but you've started something, you found some success in it, and you're going to continue to work on that for 24. Share that with us. I think that helps all of us really, um, through your experience, help us learn. And then and for 24, sometimes I know they say you got to write it down, but I would love for you to put out there in the universe. Sometimes throw it out in the universe, the forces and the powers that unite around your purpose to help you manifest that. Sometimes you got to release it, and let's release it. Let's release today. Let's release today. Vicky, Tony, Ted, Allison. Let's release today. Kelly. Let's release today. Dinah, Amanda, Edna, Ahmad, Titus. Let's release today. And you would say, release what, right? Let's release into the universe something that you want to manifest, and you need the powers to really gather around you to help order your steps, to help guide you in terms of that path of making that a reality for you. So it could be a goal. It could be something that you've been dreaming about, but really you just have not had the ability to bring it to the forefront to make it come true. But release something. And what I'm going to release today is what I started off with in terms of self-care, that I want to, by year end, there's a couple things. I want to retain and have consistency in terms of my weight management. I've been hovering around 225 to 230 pretty consistently for 2023. I want to at least maintain and move that to 220 to 225 for 2024. So I really would like to just do the kind of things, because it's managing your weight and dieting and things like that. It's very difficult because of we have so many things that causes and distractions for us and draw us in. I mean, this engine of now social media, all these algorithms and things that just drive you to something, to purchase something, to act out in terms of certain behaviors. There's a lot of forces out there that's driving behaviors. And the first step is identifying what those forces are and being conscious of those things that are nagging at you and trying to pull you down. The first really part of healing and part of really gaining control or power over those negative temptations is understanding what's coming at you. Understanding what's coming at you first, and it's so important. So I just, for me, weight management, and that's a lifestyle. And so by the end of this year, I want to be able to come to you and say, hey, you know what? Here's what's my success strategies around managing my weight, managing or my lifestyle when it comes to maintaining a weight of about 225. I'm gonna rest on 225. 2024, this day, I want to be able to say to you um, what happened in terms of just my journey of managing a weight at 225. Now I've come from 270 all the way down to consistently 230. And some of it is was due to um, Carla. It was due to some of it medically. I had my prostate removed last year, and there was a lot of things going on with me, and I'm really just blessed and grateful to be able to announce and say to you that I'm cancer free. I'm free of prostate cancer, and I know some of you brothers, brother Bobby Lau, and some other folks have reached out. Continue to do that in terms. I'm most definitely willing to share my story. Folks out there that's want to talk about really prostate, and it's a journey. Most definitely, it's been a year for me, and so folks out there, and it's important that we take it serious in terms of getting checked on an annual basis, your prostate. So some of you brothers out there, um, you know, if you really want to be smart about your health and not causing those kind of pain points that will cause death um, from prostate, you gotta check it. Um, you gotta check it. And so one of the things that what happened with my discovery of prostate cancer, we caught it really early. We caught it really early, and so we were able to, we chose to do um, um, active surveillance, uh, active, you know, and so active surveillance, and Lorenzo, thanks for your comment. Um, uh, yeah, I think education and understanding is key. I agree, and part of it is, I think, from just culture to society and programming. I think when you think about, I'm just talking me personally, growing up in poverty, and most times in a survival mode, um, that's okay. Perkins talking about I can join his 220 club. Okay. Okay, the 220 club. That sound has a nice little ring to it. 220 club. Um, but I think, I don't want to think. I know I can get there. 220, and really I think that's my ultimate goal, is to really maintain. I played football at the University of South Dakota, defense end. I played at like 195, and so 220 is possible. I'm feeling I can do it, Perkins. I'm feeling I can do it. And so, but one milestone, one goal at a time. I want to consistently maintain a weight level of 225. And I understand, I've had a lot of subject matter experts on my show, and we know that 20% of it is physical conditioning, from what I understand from some of the subject matter experts. 20% of weight management, dieting, and all that. 20% of it is physical. 80% is managing what you put in your mouth. So that's just what it is. Is largely what we put in our mouth. So enough of that. But if you want to share some of your success strategies, please do. Kind of something. You don't have to give it all up, but just share maybe one or two things that work for you in managing your health, that you could share, that someone else may be able to benefit from, because this is trying to create a community where it's about how do we help each other? How do we grow together? Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about is there's two words that I think I want to pay attention to this morning. And one of the words is called disruption. Disruptions, and then another word is distractions. And we have a lot of conversation that's being had right now around what's happening here in Omaha, Nebraska, particularly here in North and South Omaha, here in Omaha, as it relates to some of the dollars that's coming to this community as a result of COVID-19. And now this legislative bill was led by Senator Terrell McKinney and Senator Justin Wayne. And so, first of all, kudos, and I've said many times already, congratulations. I think the foresight, the work that went into that, you cannot deny those two senators in terms of what they were able to accomplish, that many have tried to accomplish I would say not many have tried to accomplish, but it just has not been done in a significant way that really can begin to change the dynamics of what's happening here in terms of South and North Omaha. It just has not been done. And so for that, you must pause and celebrate these brothers in terms of their level of accomplishment there. Now, Melvin Triplett, Perkins, my brother Melvin's talking about you need to add about 10 pounds, man. Well, you think he's getting a little light? But here's the thing, and I know this subject can be sensitive, and so I'm gonna try to be as careful as I can. But with the most recent press conference that took place here in Omaha announcing the North Omaha Business Park and the partners that have been chosen to really help to make that happen. North Omaha Economic Development Corporation, led by Michael Maroney, And you have at the press conference with Georgia Chola with the Burlington Capital, and you had Heath Meadows with the Great Omaha Chamber of Commerce. And my understanding, in terms of just not in the room, was both senators that really played a significant role in bringing forth that legislation and putting strategies around getting it passed. That's huge. Hey, Carol, how you doing this morning? That's huge. And so, anytime, one of the things I think, I hear Brother King always talk, fact check, and you can fact check my facts and things like that. That's very important. That's important before you start sounding off and having conversations. Really to know what you're talking about, right? And so I called Senator Terrell McKinney and really tried to get a little bit more insight of his perspective of what happened. And I also called Councilwoman Juanita Johnson and got her perspective. Here's what I'm talking about in terms of just disruptions and distractions. Here we have in front of us that folks that are listening, watching, we will never see again in our lifetime. As far as this, I think, this magnitude of resources that's going to be pouring into our community. If we don't pay attention to the items, the things, the people that will cause distractions and disruptions to keep us out of focus and on that path of how do we really create a 21st century renaissance in North Omaha and create the economic development that this area is so desperate to have and need. It's disruptions and distractions, not seeing who's right or who's wrong. I think, as Michelle Obama once said, when they go low, we go high. When we're talking about this level of resources coming to our community, we have to, this is my personal opinion. We have to take the high road, not absence of accountability and holding people accountable. We must still do that, but we must take the high road, because right now we're stuck. We're stuck on 1.0. You have those two senators and other senators. They are in Lincoln, Nebraska, working on legislation and bills right now for 24 and 25. I don't want us to get stuck at 1.0. We really should be talking about putting strategies in terms of 2.0, because we're acting, some folks are acting, not all, as if this money bag is going to just stop and we don't need to talk about additional resources to help. I kind of look at this, you guys, as kind of a down payment, really a down payment. I mean, we're talking about close to probably about $300 million or more that we're talking about that's going to be coming to the community. And I want to talk about not only getting this right, but let's spend some time talking about really what's next in terms of 2.0, so the senators can begin to see vision of not only now, but what's next in terms of 2.0 in a continuation of pouring resources in North and South Omaha that's been neglected for many, 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 many years. We're not going to get it all done in 1.0 because you cannot fund everyone, and everyone did not get funded at the level in which they wanted to be funded at because there was not enough money to just say, oh, you know what, everybody that put in an application, we're going to fund you 100% of your grant. That's just not real world. That's just not enough resources to do that. So you have some folks that got more than others and some got less. It's what do we do with what we have? We're talking about grants. We're not talking about a loan that you go to the bank and they're asking for your assets and for you to sign over your house, your car. This is a grant of taxpayers' money. Taxpayer money that really your obligation is to do what you said you would do. And believe me, they're going to hold you accountable to that. Okay? This is free money. And so, really, what I would like, John, Stanley, and Jermaine, and I would like the conversation to really move to how do we help as many grantees as possible be successful so we can continue to see this pouring into North and South Omaha the resources that's so needed. Let's focus on success strategies and building success strategies, Brother Perkins, Pastor Perkins. Perk it up. Let's do that. Let's spend that time, because if we spend the time on negative energy that will draw us apart versus drawing us to, it's just not going to feel, look, or be good. So disruptions, distractions. Now, I just one of them. I'm one, because you got to seek clarity and seek what is written and what is the facts. So one of the things that's coming out of this thing in terms of just the North Omaha Business Park, with those three entities, the Chamber, North Omaha Economic Development Corporation, and Burlington Capital, right, is the fees. Somebody said, well, dang, they're getting $18-19 million in fees to oversee this. Those fees, from my understanding and really taking the time and asking the question, tell me a little bit about this fees and how is it broken up? From my understanding is a large portion of that $18-19 million will go to stimulate and provide grants for folks that are looking to partake and relocate in the North Omaha Business Park. So 9 to 10 million is going to be used as a stimulus to buy down risks for attracting expansion of companies both here in Nebraska and companies that's looking to move to Nebraska, particularly North Omaha Business Park. You got to have some way to motivate people that's taking an investment, that's looking at relocating to Omaha, Nebraska, how are we going to entice them to come here? We still got to do more work at the state level in terms of providing business incentives to encourage more investment in blighted area or economically challenged areas. You know, um, and, so that's Brother Greg, boy. Good morning, my man. That's my take on it. I want us just caution us to not get distracted with these disruptions. Uh, I believe we can come together. I believe we can work together. And it tends being positive and whoopty whoopty woo. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Because I do believe that. I believe that our elected officials, we put them in office to serve. This is a government by the people, of the people. And sometimes we forget that, especially in politicians. They jump into office and they forget about who put them in office. We put them in office. And we're going to have to really, I believe, this year more than anything, show politicians that we're really in charge. We put them in office to do our will, to do our work, to represent us. So, Councilwoman Johnson, Senator Terrell, McKinney, and Justin Wayne, the mayor, the governor, our senator, Congress, senators, let's do what's necessary in terms of the common good of our people in Nebraska. Let's don't allow personalities, because every single one of the individuals I name is not bigger than in terms of the greater good and in terms of just humanity and really what people wake up and have on their minds every single morning and when they go to bed at nighttime is how do I pay, one, a lot of things. But in terms of just my family, how do I take care of my family? How do I take care of my responsibilities? How do I keep more money in my pocket? So some kind of tax relief, property taxes is what we should be worrying about is the streets, is the snow shoveled, and how do we take care of them, the elderly and folks that are in situations where they can't take care of themselves? So that's what I want us to focus on. There's a lot of money that's out there that's been awarded, and some great projects. Some of them are already public. We know that those dollars are coming that way, but it's huge. You have the Malcolm X Foundation, $20 million. North Mall, our community health center, Charles Drew, $20 million. And there's, I believe in a week or so, they're going to release all of the awards in terms of who was awarded. And I think we're going to be, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised of the grassroots organizations that will now have a resource in terms of dollars to help provide lift and to help provide resources and tools to help them manifest their mission and purpose and goals. Everybody, but if we look at this as this is the final, that this is like, well, I didn't get no money, so I'm gonna tear it all down. No, what I'm encouraging you to do is look at this as a beginning. How do you sharpen your tools and get ready for 2.0? There is way more resources at the state level than just the COVID-19, the LB 531, or wherever that the number was. There's a whole lot of resources at the Economic Development Department of Health and Human Services. They're spending money with contractors and vendors every day, and there's grant money out there. Part of it, really, the lesson for me is taking the time to learn and understand and educate myself in terms of what's out there. So, because there is, there's a lot. So let's, before we get into tearing something down, please remember how long it's been since this level of resource have come to this community. And, I'm just going to tell you my politics, I'm an independent. Okay. So my thing is this: Republican, Democrat, Green Party, Yellow Party, Gray Party, whatever. It's about what are you going to do to help folks that are economically challenged, to help to level the playing field and really take care of people. And so I want to say thank you again to both senators for your leadership. I want to say thank you to the Department of Economic Development. If you have never been a part of giving away money, man, that's one of the most difficult things I've ever done, is be in a room and having to decide how much you're going to give this person, this person, this person, this person, based on track record. One, can they do and implement what they're saying they can do? That's something you got to weigh, you got to vet. Then do they have a leadership team around them to stand up what they want to do? There's a lot of factors that go into making decisions in terms of who you're going to give money to. So hats off to the team, the Department of Economic Development, to the team that's now led by Casey, my man Tony Goins. He transitioned out of that role, but it all started with him. So I want to thank you, man. Thank Tony Goins for your work and really getting it to the point where they could take over and get it to where it's at now, where they're allocating dollars, millions of dollars. Thank you. I also want to thank all the team members at the Department of Economic Development, and also want to thank Trayvon Brooks. Man, that's a heavy load, and I really want to say thank you and congratulations, because we may not, I think the impact of what just took place and what's going to be taking place, and that's right in front of us, we'll see in terms of generations. I just turned 59, so I'm really thankful that I'm here to really to see and witness what's happening. But I think we're going to see the fruits and the benefits of this initiative for years. years to come of what it's going to spark. And for that, gratitude and thank you to the Department of Economic Development. I also want to pause and say thank you to the governor, Governor Pillen, for signing it. I mean, we can sit here and talk about, well, he did this, he did that, but he signed a document that will cause millions of dollars to come to North Omaha and South Omaha. He didn't have to sign it. But he did. And so for that, I say thank you to Governor Pillen and his administration. And before Governor Pillen, I do want to go back and say Governor Pete Ricketts, where it all got started there with Pete. So thank you, Pete. Hopefully, sometime soon we can have some gizzards and do our thing. But it takes, where we get most done is getting in a room of different people, different mindsets, different religions, different political persuasion, all that, and figuring out here's common ground, of where we can stand as a united front to make something happen for the good and the will of the people. That's where we gotta be. I can spend all the time arguing and having somebody come on here and just going back and forth. But I'm only gonna do that if we agree to move forward and really figure out a common ground where we can make good on the promise of this country. We just celebrated the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and a holiday, federal holiday. And really, I must say, and it really it really hurts me to say it, Jermaine, but Perkins and I, we were leading this effort to keep the dream alive march. And it's set for February 10th. That's a Saturday. But I think that dream is at risk. It's at risk, especially when you think about the politics. We have a presidential election that I'm just totally perplexed of what's happening in this country. And I really feel that not only the dream that Dr. Martin Luther King shared at risk, but I think our democracy is at risk. It was already fragile, but I truly believe it's at risk of tumbling, of breaking, if we as the people, and I don't know, I still have confidence that the majority of people, they see, they understand, they can feel that this country is off course. And that if we don't figure out a way to get back to center, we're going to see some things in our lifetime that we're not going to appreciate. And so there's a lot of disruptions and distractions out there that's driven by fears of people, on this, let's make America great again. I really think it's time that we all get in the game and participate in terms of our civic responsibilities. Civic responsibilities. And one of those responsibilities is getting out and voting. And some say, well, okay, with all the things that's going on with our presidential election, right? And they say, Trump should not be allowed to even be on the ballot based on his situation, right? And all of his, his challenges in courts and all the things that he's dealing with. But here's the thing about our democracy, that whole supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? But this is where, and I think it's at our fault that we give this sense of hope to a person. There again, these are my personal views. This sense of hope to a person like Donald Trump. And what makes it real for me is that, okay, do you play that out and then you finally you say, okay, people, will you please for the last time say, hey, vote your thoughts, whatever your beliefs are. But I think we got to send a strong message to this country that the path that we're on is detrimental to this democracy. And if white people, black people, yellow, all people don't take a stand, only thing I'm asking you, stand for what's right. Stand for decency and respect and the truth, honesty, some of our core principles of what make this thing work. That's all I'm asking. But we have to get out and participate more than we've ever done before. This presidential election, we must show up to send a message that we must, as a country, get back to the business of protecting a government for the people, by the people. So I know I appreciate you allowing me to really share some of my thoughts this morning. I really do. And please sound off. And I mean, what do you think? What do you think? How do we get back to some degree of to the center, to where we're we don't have to use words like fragile democracy, that our democracy is at risk. Uh, it's at risk when you have um, dictatorship mindsets, in that we have individuals that choose to use lies versus facts and the truth in order to gain favor. That's what's happening. And it's kind of like, are we I just know we're not that naive, that we're not that, we're not individuals that, given two pills and a red pill and a blue pill, and knowing that one of these pills could really be detrimental, or it's just not gonna give us great harm. I do believe, with given the truths and the facts, that we have the ability to make good decisions. Who was that? Hey, how you doing, my man? T Weezy. My man Tim walked in the room, man. Haven't seen his brother in a long time, man. Good to see you, brother. Right on, man. Right on. So that's all that I'm trying to say this morning is um, protecting this democracy is a it's kind of like a football game, right? I know a lot of folks upset at Dallas Cowboys, but it's blocking, tackling, it's offense, defense, and to win, we got to have a strategy, a plan, but most of all, we have to have some players. And in this case, we as the people, we're the players, girl. We're the players. We're the players. And if you, I challenged as far as the move to action piece is identify 5 people that you're going to put in your phone that you'll do a wellness check on a monthly basis. Let's start there. Wellness check. And I started this last year, but just somebody come to mind, and I just check on them. I call them and just say, sometimes we're so used to somebody calling, and especially if you haven't heard from them in a long time, it's kind of like, what do they want? Why are they calling me? They haven't called me in a long time. And I know that. I know that. But one of the things I just tell them, I said, you came front of mind. I thought about you. And I just wanted to call you, Carol. I just wanted to call you, Greg or Cynthia and John and Stanley. I just wanted to call you and just say hello. Hi, how you doing? And I want to see if there's anything I can do or just be of assistance or just say hi. It just sometimes it's just good to hear somebody's voice. So wellness checks, I think that's something that I would hope that every single one of us will practice and start that right away. At least minimum of I would say 3 to 5 people that you do a wellness check. Okay. The next thing is find 5 to 10 people that you constantly send messages to, text, email, call, and just really verify that one, they're registered to vote, and they have a plan of how they're going to vote. Physically, I know I still like to go in physically and vote, but some folks they do mail-in ballots. But really, 5 to 10 people in terms of voting that you try to impact at least 5 to 10 people in your circle that you challenge to get involved and vote. And then, and that's 5 to 10 to vote or even get registered to vote. So it's registered. You got to register first. Then you got to have a plan in terms of where you're going to vote at. Where's your voting spot? You can, all that is public information. Once you're registered, or even if you want to go to Douglas County Commissioner's office, and that can take place anywhere in United States. And that's the messaging really that I want to send across the country is let's take ownership of what we can do. As Michael Jackson and Paul McCarthy said, let's start with the man in the mirror. So you got to make sure you got your stuff together. And then what I'm asking you to do is look outside of you in terms of just build a community of folks that you will help to direct, give information to about getting involved when it comes to registering the vote and voting. We must all actively do something to get more people involved in this process, in this political process. And I know we're inundated with all these commercials, these campaign ads, and I can't wait for it to be over with. But here's the thing by saying that, I can't wait for it to be over with. If I don't do anything to cause a positive outcome that's for the best interest and good of this country, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stomach when it's over, in terms of the consequences and what's going to happen to this country if the wrong people, individuals who matters, who we put in office, it makes a difference. Don't you think? I mean, look at what happened a year ago or so with the insurrection. That was intentional, deliberate, and that really was the beginning of just this force that's trying to drive a bridge or this division, and they're using lies and fear strategies to do that. That's not healthy for us as a country, and especially as um, the leaders of supposedly the greatest democracy ever. Free will and all those kind of things. So, hey, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm 15 over. Hey, take the time. First of all, thank you for tuning in. Please share this link. There's a couple pages I need you to help me build this year. Help me build my So Good events page. I'm going to be more active. Help me build Breathe With Me. That's really, I'm going to try to do more this year and sharing techniques for breathing, deep breathing and exercise to build your abdominal and your diaphragm and things to build that. And then talk about posture and aligning your body correctly. That's my Facebook page is called Breathe With Me. And then moving people to action, like our page. That's a page where we're going to try to be educational, increase awareness, and just provide tools and resources for people to make good decisions, to move to action. And that action could be personal, your health, your mind, body, and spirit, all those kind of things. It could be something to do with your community. It could be awareness, educational. And so please join my different pages. And then I want to have you mark your calendars for February 10th. I would love to see 500 people on the corner of 24th and Lake Street on February 10th at 1:30 p.m. 500 people taking the time to commemorate. I mean, it was very, very difficult with the frigid temperatures and weather we had for January 15th. I think a lot of folks chose to stay at home, but we're asking folks to come out, and we come to commemorate, celebrate, recognize young people and community folks that have been doing the work to keep the dream alive. And we're going to have some speakers that's going to speak specifically to our young people. One of our keynote speakers is the CEO of Boys and Girls Club of the Midlands, Richard Webb. A message to our young people. Spoken word, Jewel Rogers. And our honorary chair for this event is Johnny the Jet Rogers, a Heisman Trophy winner. Excuse me, he's our honorary chair. Want to thank Pilgrim Baptist Church for being our gracious host. Dr. Cedric Perkins, senior pastor of Pilgrim Baptist Church. And he's also going to share some thoughts around dreams do come true. Dreams do come true. And so, yeah. If you got any things out there that help people along those lines of self-care, wellness, put your links out there. This is about how do we help each other out. So if you got yoga classes, meditation, one of the things this year that I'm going to, on my bucket list is I'm going to find time to make time to meditate more. And really with the intent to listen to my body. And I think we got to listen more. Sometimes so many people, and I was that person that, once upon a time that just, how you just kind of really go through life saying, what is my purpose, my gift? What should I be doing? Am I in the right occupation or career and all those kind of things? I think most times, if we don't know by now, I don't think we're taking the time to listen. We're not listening to ourselves, because I think the force, the universe, the powers, God, I think our destiny has already been laid out for us. The challenge is, are you listening deep? Not shallow listening where it just surface, but I'm talking about deep listening so you can discover what that path is that's already has been given to you at birth in terms of just your path. We got to listen. We listen. And what do we listen for? We listen for the direction, for the plan, and all the things to execute your gift, your purpose in life. That's what we listen for. So if anything you get out of this conversation today, besides don't allow the disruptions and distractions, people, to get in the way of the big picture of what's in front of us, North and South Omaha. That's noise. A lot of that stuff is just noise. When you unpeel, let's start focusing on 2.0 as a strategy to go get that bag, to continue to build an economic development and quality of life. When you think about one of the greatest assets in this community, I believe, is Metro Community College. When you think about short and long-term micro certifications, skilling up to get your money up, you gotta skill up to get your money up. So let's do what's necessary to focus on that, things that's going to improve the quality of our life, where we can have a community where people can come to live, work, and play. Live, work, and play. As they would say on your flight, on the airplane, your stewardess would say, folks, if there's any turbulence or if there's any situation on this plane, your air mask will deploy from the ceiling, and they will beg you to put your mask on first. I don't care who's next to you, right or left. They want you to put your mask on first. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Take deep breaths, be good to yourself, because it makes it so much easier to do other folks well if you're taking care of yourself. That's why number one for me is self-care. Because if I get me right, I get this mind right, I believe the rest will follow. I believe the rest will follow. And so there's a lot of folks out there that's doing all across this country is doing the work. And I'm just really encouraging everyone in these United States. It's time to engage and get involved in terms of civic responsibilities. We can stop this negative force that's coming our way by just participating. And I'm not telling you which way to vote, because I think you're smart enough to know what's good for you in terms of that red pill or that blue pill. You know, I believe if we give you the facts, and the truths, I think you'll stand up and do right by yourself first, by your family, by your community, and what's in the best interest and the common good of humanity. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm so looking forward to it. And until next time, do what's necessary. Do what's necessary to lean forward and take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. I'm out. Hey, that's all for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Melvin Triplet. I may go for that 220 goal. But 20,